Der noise level stepping up a notch. You can see the way the crowds are right up against the barrier. The atmosphere building throughout the day. 9,500 packed into the range and the stands behind it. That's the only ticketed part of this, the Loop 1 opening festival, as Rome, the man now to take the lead as they'll come around these bends on the near side to the stadium and will make their way shortly into the range for the first time. 2 prone shoots followed by 2 standings. And for this celebration of all things biathlon, music, sport and culture is Scott Dixon. Scott, some really intriguing and exciting heats this morning. It was a pedestrian-esque start to this race as they rolled through the start line after coming down from BMW World, but as they come in to the range for the first time, what are you expecting from this men's final?
Well, I'm certainly expecting a lot of unexpected shooting results, a lot of unexpected skiing results, and that's just part of biathlon. It is unpredictable, and it's what makes it so exciting. But now there is going to be a lot of anticipation as to whether people can hold their nerve, shoot well on this first visit to the shooting range, or whether they're going to have to recuperate lost time.
There has been some movement as the athletes drop down into the prone position. Campbell Wright first to shoot, and he misses on his first attempt. Eric Perrault gets away, a good start, clean through the 2 so far, and that's 3 now. Kratzer of Germany going well. You can see his targets at the top. It's Eric Perrault who's away 5 for 5. Tero Seppala as well, just a Strelo, so impressive in qualifying. He's away 5 for 5. So is Sturla Holmler Glide, waiting on the final shot of Florent Claude, and that now goes clean 5 for 5. Jonas Malacek clean as well. Well, that's Scott, an impressive start with so many men there out of the 15 going clean through the first shooting stage.
It was certainly an easier pace coming into the shooting range, meaning that you would expect there to be a higher success rate on the range. We saw that, but then again, there are still plenty of those who have missed outside the top 8. In fact, 8 and onwards we have misses, and that is pretty consistent with how we see it on the World Cup. 50% or thereabouts getting filtered out onto the penalty loop after each visit to the range.
Well, only one French athlete in this men's final, and that is Eric Perrault, and he has made a very good start indeed. Tero Seppala, well, he was superb in qualifying, and it is those 2 who are out and away, and it's Eric Perrault's just opening up a slight gap here. It was 3.2 seconds the difference as they left the range. Great to have the indication of where the athletes shot there on the targets. A new graphic for this season in the IBU, and it's great to see there 2 for Tero Seppala that were just straying out, and maybe he's been quite lucky that he was able to trigger the target with all 5 of those.
Yeah, and the targets, or the shots lying on the left-hand side of the target, indicating that he could do or benefit from an adjustment to the right. If that graphic is completely accurate, then 3 clicks or so to bring him back to centre. And I suppose that information will be passed on to him by coaches around the track. Here is the target map of Justus Strelo we've just seen flash through the picture. Well, he was formidable in terms of his shooting in the 23-24 season, just so accurate. We saw that drop a little bit last season, and he'll be feeding off the home crowd that is growing and growing as we make our way through the day here at the Loop 1 Festival. It's great to see the build-up yesterday with the youth and para races, really given a platform to shine, and the crowds yesterday spectacular, and back again today, growing through the morning and into this afternoon as they make their way around this 1.8 kilometre loop at the Olympic Park, and shortly we will see them come into the range for the second time. This the 2.8 kilometre mark, and of course it is Eric Perrault, the young Frenchman who made such an impact last season, who's followed through by Tero Seppala, Justus Strelo, and here is the charge led by Sturla Holmler Glide off the back of winning his first total score globe. Yeah, what a great field we have here, and the IBU making such a fantastic effort to get all these big names from all these big nations to meet here just 5 weeks before the season opener on snow. And that really is a testament to the efforts of the IBU family, which is really one of the most amazing things about this sport, is that it isn't just a slogan, it is very much a reality.
Yep, we feel that every year. Wherever we go on the World Cup tour, you do feel welcomed and the sport embraced by so many corners of the globe, and that of course well represented through our heats today, where we had so many smaller biathlon nations: Great Britain, Brazil, Greenland, So many of countries that don't always fight it out at the top of the table. Great to see them represented here today in Munich. As into the range we go, shooting to Eric Perrault leads by 4.1 seconds from Just Estrela, but tucked in just behind him, half a second behind as they came into shooting two with Thurlow Seppala. And once again they'll drop down into the prone position as they train of athletes led by Sturla Holmlegard follow in from behind.
You can see the adjustments there being made by Perrault. He made some adjustments to the up and down rotation and left to right. But the first shot for Perrault landing on the left-hand side, it is a hit, but he's still faring over to the left, and his shots, each one getting further right. 5 for 5 for Perrault, 5 for 5 for Seppala. Fantastic shooting.
Superb at the front, perfect from our two leaders. One dropped by Just Estrela. He'll be once around the approximately 60-metre penalty loop. Here's Sturla Holmlegard though, clicking into gear, and he'll be up into third, followed by Anton Vidmar of Slovenia, who flew through his qualifying, and great to see in that fluorescent green, as they so often are. The Slovenians represented right at the top of proceedings here today. So the first four through and out of shooting 2 of 4. Just Estrela dropping 1. He hasn't found himself too far off the pace, just 17 seconds behind, and we've seen already how quickly things can chop and change in this short and fast format of biathlon.
Well, Legride 7.8 seconds down after shoot 1, and then 11.1 after shoot 2, and that's down off Perrault having both hit all of the targets. An indication there perhaps he's either got tired legs or is being a little bit more conservative with his shooting. Legride shooting slower than the fastest shooter, Victor Brandt. 26.7 for Legride.
So out to the front of the course we go. Perfect in prone, Perrault and Seppala.
This stretch of track is particularly interesting from a tactical perspective, because it's very narrow and it is fast, as you can see, but the opportunities to get past are few and far between. You really have to accelerate very fast in relation to the athlete in front of you to get past. And you need to also hope that they hold their line. If they drift into the centre, it makes it difficult. So it definitely is a tactical game, choosing where and when to do your overtaking.
So here's Just Estrela, and look at that one and only stray shot so far, so close, just at the edge of the ring there. As we see our leaders go through the 4.6 kilometre mark, and this would be in the qualifying stages when they'd be into the home straight. A look over the shoulder from Sturla Holmlegard, maybe trying just to call on the support and help of Anton Vidmar of Slovenia, the 25-year-old who has plenty of experience at World Championships, competed in 3 for his nation.
You can see the pace around this corner just looking a little bit more relaxed, and we are approaching the shooting range, and that does come with the territory. You don't want to come into the range with too much intensity, so that you can get your breathing under control, start focusing on your rhythm. The transition between the aggressive nature out on the track into the shooting range really is what makes biathlon so fascinating, because you have those two very conflicting mental states that you have to jump between at the drop of a hat.
Well, it's really gritted teeth from Sturla Holmlegard, who through the 4.6 kilometre mark was in third, 13.8 seconds off the pace. We'll get a better idea of the picture as he comes into shooting 3, but he is trailing Tero Seppala and Eric Perrault. Nothing to separate the athletes wearing bib 1 and 2 as they come in to the range. That's the first standing shoot, first of 2. Both perfect so far.
Perot with the first hit. He manages to get the second one down, missing the third, but Seppala still managing to hit all the targets. He goes 4 for 4 and he hesitates, but manages to get the fifth target down. Phenomenal shooting from Seppala.
Extraordinary from Tero Seppala, and he will lead the inaugural Loop 1 Festival. Flying through the shots is Vidmar. Sturlaholm, the glider's dropped 2. Vidmar has now dropped 1. Strelo close to going 5 for 5, and now he does. Malacek as well, and the picture at the front of this race will all be shaken up, but Tero Seppala has an advantage of 5.4 seconds. Who will follow out behind them? It looks to be just Strelo, 19.7 seconds. He trails as they come over this short, sharp climb out of the range. Maracek taking his time, biding his time, but climbing up the order. Isak Frey has done some good work to climb as well, the IBU Cup winner from last season. He is up to 6th after a challenging first couple of visits to the range.
Surum, the fastest skier of lap 3. He had some early mistakes on the range, which has dropped him back 28.9 seconds after shooting number 3. But one to watch out for. He's still capable of climbing and closing that gap, but Seppala doing a fantastic job to get so far out in front, with Perot hot on his heels.
Well, he had some big moments last season, Tero Seppala, finishing as the highest ranked Finnish male last season, as Finland, well, were in such good form as a nation. They've changed things in terms of the setup, and you listen to the coaches, they have really brought a level of alignment to the squad, and with of course Suvi Minkkinen flying on the women's side. Tero Seppala, usually the partner in crime of Suvi Minkkinen in the single mixed relays, is right at the front of this one, although closing the gap spectacularly. Eric Perot is now right back on the heels of the Finn.
That was dramatic. You can see with every single stride his intention to close that gap and to take advantage of Seppala's slipstream, and he's right in there. He's now close and will be benefiting from that. And now Perot will be thinking about recovering to some degree, because that charge would not have come easy. It's going to take a little bit out of his legs, his arms, and his cardiovascular systems will be working overtime, so he needs to really focus on bringing that down for this next visit to the shooting range, the final visit to the shooting range.
They will have one lap to go after that, and I am already anticipating how that will pan out, because we are in, well, such an exciting position here in the inaugural Loop 1 Festival, as the instructions barked into the ear of Eric Perot as he gets that corner smoothly. Here is the picture behind, and that is Isak Frey, who is in 3rd, wearing bib number 4. Multiple European and junior champion, a really well decorated medal and trophy cabinet for someone so young. IBU Cup winner last season. I expect we'll see a lot more from him this season upcoming. He's missed 3, but he's holding his own, Scott. When you look at the numbers of those around him, he is performing so well for the 3 shots he's missed.
He's skiing much faster than Surum, much faster than Legride. He is absolutely on fire. He's skiing faster than Strelo, having already done an extra 120 metres covered around the penalty loop in this race alone, but also testament to his fast shooting. He was the fastest shooting time with 17.2 seconds on the mat in his first visit stand shooting.
Well, the kids are all right, aren't they? Hey, way to announce yourself. Can he climb up the order as they pull in? Leading 2, and then the train will arrive shortly, led by Isak Frey. Just Strelo in the mix as well, with Malacek, Vidmar and Sörlem. But here are our leaders, the final shooting stage, side by side, Tero Seppala and Eric Perot.
Perot gets away early with a first miss and a second one to follow. It's not looking good for the Frenchman, but he gets the remaining 3, so it's not over. Seppala also missing 2, but he gets the last shot, so it's going to be head-to-head, but the door is very much open now for the chasers.
Well, the door is open, but you expect that the lead out of this 4th and final shooting stage will go the way of Eric Perot. A miss for Sörlem. Isak Frey is flying, and he's gone 5 for 5. Talk about a recovery. That is superb. Just Strelo, can he hit the 5th? He does. And the battle is well and truly on. Victor Brandt, that's great shooting. Sturla Holmler-Glide, there's traffic as they come out of the penalty loop and back into it. But Isak Frey leads after 3 missed shots. Eric Perrault just 0.8 of a second behind, and then Teo Seppala 7 seconds off the pace. Isak Frey, well, talk about a recovery.
Wow, I mean, the shooting was fast on the 3rd visit to the range, but absolutely impeccable on the final visit. 14.3 seconds to get all the targets down for Isak Frey, which was 2 seconds faster than Perrault, and Perrault missed 2.
Well, that is outrageous. Here we go, race on. Isak Frey, the youngster, the up-and-coming star, against someone who's well and truly arrived on the scene, Eric Perrault. There's a look at the shots from Perrault, and those two, well, the second in particular, that was well astray. There's round the corner goes Isak Frey. He is in the lead here, but tucked in behind, and you imagine quite comfortable with his position right now. Here's Eric Perrault, but he won't have many opportunities to overtake, Scott, and that will be key, is picking and judging the movement of the young athletes ahead of him just right.
Oh, this is such a difficult, well, for both of them. Navigating where to make a move and what to do in this situation is tricky. They don't want to go too slow so that someone else catches up, and you actually see both of them taking a look over their shoulder, evaluating how much effort do they need to put in to either maintain their gap or whether it is just a head-to-head battle, and I think they've concluded the latter.
Now you can see the battle for 3rd is hotting up behind, and they're not too far away from this leading pair. This is a thrilling final lap that we're working our way round in the Olympic Park here in Munich.
And Seppala is in absolutely phenomenal form in terms of ski speed. He's certainly trying to close that gap. He came out of the range 7 seconds behind.
But look at the change of the lead. It's Eric Perrault who has found a way past Isak Frey. Still only half a second in it. And the coaches on both sides roaring into the ears. Teo Seppala just starting to fade round the outside. Comes Justus Strelo, urged on by the German home crowd. This is it.
What an attack from Perrault, managing to get away from Isak Frey, who is doing everything in his power to maintain that gap, but just lacking that last little bit of oomph. And you can see Perrault just getting away from him, but it is not over until they cross the line.
A brief look over the shoulder from Isak Frey, who has done so much battling to get back into this competition, to be fighting at the top end in the podium positions, but he has been well and truly broken by Eric Perrault. He is a class above, and he is flying around the bend and into the stadium, and he will no doubt be victorious here at the inaugural Luke One Festival. It's Eric Perrault, the Frenchman, who is on the charge, and he is victorious. What a way to open up the 25-26 biathlon season, and welcome to Isak Frey. That is how you do it. Cool, calm, composed. The errors were there in front of him, and he brushed past each and every one of them. Justus Strelo takes a medal on home soil, and for Björn Sørlund, once again a valiant fight back, but this time round it wasn't enough, as we see Sturla Holmler-Glide, the World Cup total score winner, across the line in 7th.
What an unbelievably exciting and fast-paced last lap. You can see Perrault is hurting, and it cannot be overstated how hard a track like this is. There's no recovery. It's full-time pain and punishment to the body, and they handled it with absolute class, and testament to Frey's incredible shooting in stand to be able to hit 10 out of 10 in collectively less than or almost 30 seconds is just impeccable. Oh wow, not much time to stop over the finish line there. I think Campbell
battle Malacek and Fletcher of Germany, both of them wanting to give everything towards the line, and well, the momentum, the upward trajectory that Eric Perrault has been on for the last 18 months has been nothing short of spectacular. First individual world title this season. He is the champion here in Munich for the inaugural Lukewarm Biathlon opening festival. But Isak Frey on the rise. And the IBU Cup winner from last season, taking a hard-fought silver medal.
Perrault speaking Norwegian there to Legreid.
Was there a touch of the Ronaldo celebration, maybe a little bit there, as much as you can do on roller skis, as he's still deep in conversation with the man who finished second, and a big smile on the face of Isak Frey, who can be very proud of what he's achieved to date and the mark he's laid down. Very good early season signs from those two, as we see the last of our athletes start to roll over the finish line, and it's the Belgian, one of the two Belgian representatives, Claude, I believe, is making his way into the stadium, and in true biathlon family fashion, as of course we were speaking about earlier, he will be welcomed home with a standing ovation.
Sorum having the fastest ski time around this beautiful park here, and really showing his form. Full 5.5 seconds ahead of Perrault's time. But very little could touch Isak Frey's incredible ski speed. And I must apologise, I did say that he shot clear in stand, but that was not the case. He did miss one in his first visit to stand shooting.
But still, we talk about the recovery. I think in this style of racing it is very hard unless you have the prowess and the kind of, obviously we talk about his raw talent.